Have you ever wondered why it's so hard sometimes to really embrace gratitude? I'll be back in a minute and share some thoughts I have on the subject. I recently attended the 2014 Beachside Writers Workshop in Yachats, Oregon. In one of the workshops, we were asked to describe a day of pure and genuine happiness in our life, and then to write an article about it. As I sorted through my life experiences, one day stood out clearly for me. As I wrote about that day, I realized that the exercise was teaching me a bittersweet insight, not only about my own life, but about life in general. An insight about the dark side of gratitude that I'd missed that day so many years ago, and why embracing gratitude can be a difficult challenge for so many people, myself included. I wrote about the day I drove my youngest son to the train station in Rochester, New York. He was 18 years old and heading toward a 3-month adventure in the wilderness with the National Outdoor Leadership Training Organization that goes by the name NOLS. For 3 months, he and a small group of other men and women would learn the skills of leadership as they were introduced to various wilderness survival skills such as rock climbing or surviving winter snowstorms in snow caves. What it means to internally, inside, to spend 3 days totally alone in the desert wilderness of southern Utah and kayaking the whitewater rivers of the Southwest. As we waited for the train, the excitement bubbling from him was like the foam from a can of Coke that someone had shook and then pulled the aluminum tab. However, I was struggling. My little boy was about to get on a train. Now, I couldn't have been prouder of him in that moment, but I knew in my heart that it was about to be one of the saddest days of my life. He was leaving home, and he would not come back as my little boy. Those precious days were over. As he boarded the train, he paused in the doorway and gave a final excited wave goodbye. But my arm felt like a heavy sack of grain as I struggled to cheerfully put a smile on my face and wave back, knowing it was the last time I would see him as a child. I was releasing him to the world, knowing from experience that he would come home a young man. My eyes filled with tears as I watched the train pull out of the station and disappear into the distance. The platform cleared of people, but I chose to sit alone on a bench in the station and take in the moment of my last child stepping out into the world. The gratitude I felt for the opportunity to have spent the last 18 years with him was beyond words. The insight I learned writing about that day was the realization that gratitude and loss are often experienced together. Perhaps that's why it's a challenge for so many of us to embrace gratitude. It's knowing that we can never go back to the moments that we are so grateful to have experienced.